Hello and welcome to a new video, and today we are traveling from Sigmaringen to Tübingen by train. The railway line is called Zollernalbbahn 1, or short ZAB1, and our train today is a Lint 54 in the bwegt design. We start at the station of Sigmaringen and here we are boarding our train. It has the typical bwegt design. Bwegt, that's the corporate identity of all trains in the southern German state of Baden-Württemberg. It doesn't matter which company the train belongs to, they all need to have this design. So here you can see a class 612, a train that I already showed to you. It is from Deutsche Bahn, but does not have the typical red color scheme. It has the same color scheme as our train, that's the bwegt design. Also, the interior is pretty similar from all bwegt trains. There are just a few differences in the seat model and the features. Here in this train we do have armrests and tables, but no power sockets on all seats. Power sockets are only available at the seats of 4, and the seat pitch is also quite acceptable for the second class. The armrests are not too comfortable as they just have a plastic cover. And now let's listen to our departure here in Sigmaringen, and that departure is very beautiful as we can see an amazing castle. The castle you just saw is the Hohenzollern Castle, and that's one of two main sites of our train ride today. And the second one we will see way later, almost at the end of our train ride. We leave Sigmaringen and we firstly follow the Donaubahn, so the Danube Railway, which is obviously following the Danube River, but we leave it soon after passing Inzigkofen. Here you can see the Danube and the Danube Railway. We're leaving it now, and now we're following a small river called Schmeie. And here we immediately have our first tunnel, the Höhenberg Tunnel, which is 326 meters long. And we have also several bridges as we are crossing the river Schmeie several times. And that there's also another tunnel, the Wendenbühl Tunnel, which is 125 meters long. There used to be two stations called Unterschmeien and Oberschmeien, but they are not in use anymore, so our first station is Storzingen. Here we are leaving the station of Storzingen that used to have many tracks. Of course, nowadays they are not in use anymore and abandoned, and we are continuing on to our next stop of Straßberg-Winterlingen, and in between there used to be the station Kaiseringen-Frohnstetten, and this station used to have a funicular railway, was connecting the station with a military training area, but it's also closed and demolished. And that has been the most scenic part of our train ride today. We are now coming to the big city of Albstadt. Albstadt was founded by combining the cities Ebingen, Tailfingen, Onsmettingen and Pfäffingen, and they have all been combined to one big city called Albstadt. That's why Albstadt has also several train stations that are Albstadt-Ebingen, Albstadt-Ebingen-West, Albstadt-Lautlingen and Albstadt-Laufen. And here in Albstadt-Ebingen there used to be a connection to Onstmettingen, that was the so-called Talgang railway. But it's also closed nowadays. And then we are continuing on to Balingen, and in Balingen there is another connection. It used to go to Rottweil, but nowadays it is only in use till the city of Schönberg, and even this part is only operated by touristic trains. In the future it's planned to electrify this railway line, but nowadays it's only operated by diesel trains, and those are either our Lint or the class 612 that is running the express services on this railway line. And the class 612 is on tilting train, so this railway line is also equipped for the operation of tilting trains. But the Lint is not a tilting train, that's just a regular regional train, and it's used for the services that stop at all stations. And here in the background you can see another castle, and this is the second highlight of this railway line. It's Hohenzollern Castle, and this is one of the most beautiful and most famous castles of Germany. It's quite far away from the railway line, so you cannot see it perfectly, but you can clearly see it in the background. And soon after we arrive at Hechingen, and in Hechingen there are two more connections, and to be precise there are actually two stations at Hechingen, the station that we are arriving, and right next to it is the station Hechingen Landesbahn. Both stations are connected with each other, but are actually two different stations, and from Hechingen Landesbahn you do have a connection to the Zollernalb railway 2 and 4, but the ZAB4 is only operated by touristic trains, and the ZAB2 is operated on a regular basis. And soon after we arrive at Tübingen, the biggest city, and the end of our train. From there you have connections, for example, on to Stuttgart. So to conclude, these Lint trains are not the most comfortable trains, but it's only a regional service, so they are quite nice. And they fit very well for this railway line, as they have a higher capacity than the Regio shuttles that used to operate this railway line. But they do have a few issues, especially those big windows. They are actually a nice thing, but unfortunately the Lint is also known for this problem. They get very cold in the winter. I was sitting next to the window, and after this 1.5 hour train ride I had a really cold arm, as these windows get really cold in winter. And I was continuing on with a different train, and there I felt the difference. Even though the other train also had big windows, those were way warmer, so that's a big downside of the Lint. But otherwise it's a nice train, and the railway line itself is very scenic. And that's it for this video. I hope it was interesting for you. Here you can see the name of the song and when my next video will be released. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider to comment, like, subscribe or share the video link, and I hope to see you in the next video.